Hola, I thought it was about time we talk about Jesus and Christianity and where I'm at with it all. Now, this is not an attack, this is just me stating my position. I'm very happy for you if you're with Jesus and it works for you. I'm not trying to discourage anyone or change anyone or anything like that. But I am getting a bit bored of the dogmatic, Jesus saves, turn to Jesus, here's a Bible quote, comments. I mean, by all means, keep commenting, it helps the video, it's fine. But don't expect me to respond. And that's my first point really of why I'm not a Christian, or what I see in Christians, is a very dogmatic, conditioned, you know, this book says this approach. I don't see much self-work going on. I don't see much enlightenment. I don't see much presence. I was briefly a Christian for 6 months. When I got put in jail, I got really desperate. And in that fear, I turned to something outside of me because I couldn't cope with my internal anymore. And I think that's what a lot of it comes from. Now, Jesus brings a lot of peace. I do believe in Jesus. I believe in the deity of Jesus, for sure. And he does bring a lot of peace. You know, there's a reason why, not just conditioning, that people are into him. You know, I get it. But when I was going to a church, I didn't see any enlightenment there. I saw people in masks. I saw people who had no idea what was going on in the world. And all they knew was this book and these statements that they would repeat from this book. Just like we see libtards repeating stuff they've been told, like safe and effective by the BBC. For me, what it really comes down to is, how can you put all your trust and faith into a book when you don't know who wrote it? No, I'm no historian. I've not read scriptures. I'm not claiming to know much. When I found out that the story in the Bible, the story of Jesus, is the same as Krishna, is the same as Dionysus, is just basically a rewrite of those. It also, I can't quite remember the details, but it massively links to astrology, it massively links to the sun. On the 25th of December, that's when the sun shines the most or the least or something like that. There's loads. The three, what were they, kings? I think the three kings represent stars or something. Like when you see somebody who knows break it down, it's very hard to deny that actually it's written about astrology. Then there's the book of Enoch, which reveals loads about fallen angels and Nephilim and all that, and that's been taken out. How can you trust that anything that was produced in this society isn't made to control you? Like that, and I'm not saying it is, but the way that Christians don't even seem to question that, and they're just like, I put all my faith into this book. Now, I know from my time as a Christian, which did come from absolute desperation, like the worst circumstance of my life, when I found Jesus and felt some sort of peace in that, some sort of security in that, I ruled everything else out. And that's because my faith wasn't set. You know, I couldn't fully believe in it. I couldn't fully trust it. So therefore, I had to reject everything that questioned that. And for me, if you're rejecting stuff based on fear, based on, no, I believe this and this is the way, and I can't look at anything else, then that says it all. You know, you've stopped your journey, you've stopped seeking, you've stopped your enlightenment, you've essentially given up. This is just my opinion, of course. You've essentially given up and dedicated yourself to a deity of some sort. Now, if you read Gnostic texts, again, I haven't, but I've listened to a lot of people who have, Jesus is way down the chain. And for me, it comes down to what happens when you die. And my belief, and it is just a belief, is you basically, essentially probably go where you believe. You know, whatever you believe in will probably happen. So then you could say, oh great, I believe in Jesus in heaven. But what if Jesus is just the ruler of this world, and that actually it's all a trap? What if when you die, you, rather than dying in a state of enlightenment and presence where you can make a choice about where you go, if you die going, Jesus save me, Well, guess what? Jesus will save you. But what does that mean, and what does that look like? How do you know he's not part of a reincarnation trap? How do you know he's not being put here to send you back here? And I would love to believe, like, I would love to believe there's something out there looking after me. You know, very, very reassuring, very nice. But that is the question that I can't escape from. As well as all of my own experience, of course, like my 15-gram mushroom trip, where I merged with consciousness and became consciousness and saw it all from consciousness's point of view. You know, am I going to deny my own experiences out of fear, essentially? Don't get me wrong, there's an element, a tiny bit of fear in me now that, oh, what if I'm wrong? What if I am rejecting the only way to salvation? Like, there's no way of knowing. Like, I'm not saying I'm right, but I am questioning this dogmatic, this is the way and that's it, because this society historically has told you that it's a way. Now, this society has been controlled for a very long time, for thousands of years from what I can see, certainly back to the Egyptian times, controlled by bad people who want to trick you. Now, I appreciate in the modern day, it looks like they're attacking Christianity, and it looks like, oh, well, it must be the truth because they attack it so much. But what if that's all part of the plan too? What if that is to get you to buy back into Christianity? To buy back into a deity that will send you back here so you can carry on being energy harvested. Ultimately, like in the comments left by Christians, I just see no critical thoughts. I also see, I see the trigger. They get so triggered when people like me say stuff like this, which shows that they don't trust it. If you're getting triggered by something, you should be able to hear something like this and just be like, oh, bless him, he's lost. And leave something helpful in the comments. If you truly believe, then you would want to help me find him, rather than just being like, Jesus is the way, you fool. It clearly comes from a triggered place, which clearly comes from an unresolved, unsure place within the Christian. So yeah, ultimately, I think it just comes down to, do you trust yourself or not? Do you want to put all your eggs in one basket of this deity saving you that you have no idea what that is? I mean, for me, if you're a Christian and you haven't even researched Gnostic writings, pagan writings, all the other options, then you're an idiot. To put all your faith in something without fully researching what people have said about it historically and the most ancient scriptures in the world is just crazy, and is clearly a coping mechanism. Clearly a coping mechanism, which is very understandable because it's very hard to cope in this world, and I totally get why one would want to reassure themselves that something out there is looking after them. Totally get it. Not knocking it, just sharing my opinion. So my intention here isn't to trigger anyone, isn't to piss anyone off, isn't to take anyone away from Christianity. It's just to have an open, honest discussion, because that's what I created this channel for. It's actually really bad for YouTube channels when you question Christianity, because like I say, they all get very triggered. It just says it all, it really does say it all. Or like, I can't listen to him because he's not of God, it's demonic. Then this is self-protection, this is exactly the same as what libtards do. I can't listen to that actual scientist that's telling me that what I put into my body is not very good for me. They can't even take it in because it will crumble their whole world. If you're so scared of my words that you need to unsubscribe, then your faith is very, very fragile, and that should tell you a lot. Anyway, that's enough. If he appreciates my honesty and my just searching for the answer with you guys, not telling you what the answer is because I don't know, just having a little search and a little feel around, then please do like, please do subscribe, and I'll see you later.